Hello. I guess by the title of this video, you can tell there is no beating every N64 game video this week. I do apologize for that. The next one is taking quite a bit of effort to do, and I just literally do not have the ability to get it done in time. So I've done this in the past where I just kind of talked about a bunch of common questions, comments, things I get. So it's at least something. If you're like, dang, I wanted that video, thumbs down. It's your right to do whatever anyway. Yeah, so the first thing I might talk about is, hey, what's your video making process? What the heck? Why don't you have a video? I even get some comments like, that one video a week isn't enough, and I wish I could put out infinite per week. It's would be nice. But yeah, so basically there's literally two people. There's me who writes what to say and then says it, and then I have a video editor who strings together all the clips and makes it line up nice and sound nice. I just got like a really weird alert on my phone. That was interesting. Yeah, so I even get a couple comments about like my editing team, my video making team. Like, I'm not a big business. I don't have a million people here making these. Anyway, turns out there's a big flaw in this project in that it takes longer to make a video than it does to beat a game. Like, let's say, oh, I beat, what am I, right now I'm showing Mario Party. This was game 26, which I guess a lot of people, I get a lot of comments asking about Mario Party. Maybe people missed it because it's not being recommended or it's one of the older ones. I don't know, but I think Mario Party took like 26 hours. Collectively with me reading the lines, writing the lines, choosing the clips to be done, and then it all being put together, it takes more than that. Like, it really stinks. A lot of times, the longer the video gets, it like doesn't scale. So like if it takes, 600 hours to beat a game, it's probably because the game was really hard and I just failed a lot at one particular thing or something like that. Anyway, yeah, so it's really not realistic. And another thing people say is, oh, for these longer games, you should segment them into separate videos. And that's something I've thought about, but I just like the idea of having one video per game. Like, I'm trying to make this one, easier to watch in multiple sittings, but yeah. I don't know. I don't like the idea of segmenting a game into multiple videos. Just one video per game, and that way, years down the road, somebody can come back and, watch the StarCraft video, not 6 separate StarCraft videos. At least that's how I want to do it. Just me thing. Yeah, so that's kind of the idea. I really do apologize there's no video. I've strived to get one done per week and ideally get ahead so that I don't have this come up, but I literally don't have the video done. Like, even if I work 24 hours, I wouldn't get it done in time. Like, it's a really long one. I want it to be good, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so hopefully at least this is here. I don't know, maybe you guys don't like this. Maybe you've clicked off by now because you got bored, whatever. So another thing that I get asked about is my setup. How do you play these games? How do you stream them? Like, what's your setup? And I think I will save that for a different video. Kind of show off my setup and also some cool things I have related to the N64. But I am just playing on a regular old controller, on a regular old N64. No, I don't have the full cartridge collection. I actually saw somebody selling their full collection for, I think, $15,000 recently. There's a thing called an EverDrive that you can use, which is really, really convenient in the modern day if you don't want to be on an emulator. So you can look into that. Yeah, I might show off the actual setup like more properly someday in the future. A lot of people ask, hey, why did you do the N64? Like, what's even the deal? Why is this here? So I'm 32 years old and I got an N64 when I was 6. It was on my 6th birthday. And I remember getting, it was either my 6th or my 5th birthday. I don't remember, but we got Mario 64 and Mario Kart 64. And I specifically remember all my cousins and my brother had to watch me play because it was my birthday. Even one of my cousins who was like 14. And I just have a lot of nostalgia for it. When I was in college, I didn't have any of my video games with me because like I didn't think I'd be able to focus on school. Like I'd play too many games. Well, I still had my laptop I used for studying, and that was bad. I still had my laptop I used, and I installed an N64 emulator and kind of replayed a lot of 64 games. I also got into Mario 64 ROM hacks then, so I like the N64. The idea actually kind of happened because I was playing all the Donkey Kong games they had on like the Nintendo Switch Online. And everybody in my chat was like, hey, don't play Donkey Kong 64. You gotta skip Donkey Kong 64, it sucks. And I was like, I played that as a kid. I remember it being pretty decent. Like, it doesn't suck. And so I just kind of played it anyway to prove them wrong. And I ended up having a lot of fun with it. And it just got me nostalgic about this console and thinking about it. And I wanted to play all these other games. And then people would mention like, oh, you gotta play Jet Force Gemini. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is. Oh, you gotta play Perfect Dark. I'm like, oh, I've never played Perfect Dark. Oh, you gotta play, I don't know, Blast Corps. I'm like, I've never heard of that. So it just kind of came into be. Like, I want to see all these other games, see what they are, and also try to discover new things that none of us have seen. Like, pretty obscure title we've run into, I'd say, is Rocket Robot on Wheels. That game was awesome. And I feel like not a lot of people have heard about it, and I never would have even heard of it or played it without this challenge, so I think that's really cool. Yeah, the N64 also just has kind of a realistic number of games to beat. Like, I'll admit, I probably wouldn't even put the 64 in, like, my top 3 best consoles, especially maybe in multiplayer. As a multiplayer console, it's pretty sick. Especially after doing this challenge and realizing how much shovelware there is. I don't know. Yeah, honestly, my top 3 consoles would probably be like the SNES, Super Nintendo, the PS2, and the Xbox 360. I do like the 64, but yeah, anyway, there's just a realistic number of games to beat here. Like, I think the PlayStation, even if you just do the North American games, is like 1,800 games or something crazy. And like, good luck with that, you know? Like, that's ridiculous. So, beating 300 video games isn't that bad, including the Japanese games, it's about 400. Like, it ends up not being impossible. Like, it feels achievable. Also, a lot of people ask, like, what's like your favorite game? Blah, blah, what's the worst game? What's the hardest game? Blah, blah. What hidden gems have you found? And I do have a sheet I link in the description of every video. It's like a Google Doc sheet thing. And all those ratings I give to games are just archived there. And you can just sort. And honestly, the worst game may surprise you. It's usually not, oh my god, Superman, like it's so bad. Like, yeah, it is a jank, bad game, but the worst games are boring games like golf or terrible racing game or board game or card game. Like, you know, it's way worse to be bored by a game than to play an interesting game that's just jank and bad, in my opinion. So, yeah. But you guys, so in line with it takes longer to make a video than it does to beat a game, I actually am quite ahead of these videos in real-time progress because I wish that as soon as I beat the game, I instantly make the video. It's just not a thing that can happen, and it's just getting worse over time. So I've actually beaten about 90 games past what you all have seen on YouTube. And there's some interesting stuff coming, I'll tell you that. But also, oh god, I don't think I'm going to play this because interesting tidbit about my setup is, I don't know if you know Abney, he speedruns Mario Kart 64. He sold me a 10 out of 10 joystick for very cheap. I offered to pay more and he said it was fine. And I don't want to ruin it playing Tug of War, so we're skipping that one. What was I saying? Yeah, so in line with that, I am buying some upgrades now. It's Black Friday, Cyber Monday, whatever. I'm going to be able to multi-stream, and I will be streaming these games on YouTube. I know I've been streaming them on Twitch, but I know some people don't use Twitch. They don't like Twitch, blah, blah, just don't want to make an account. All that's fine. So if you do want to watch on YouTube, I will also be multi-streaming here very soon. I usually play the N64 Wednesday through Sunday from 6:30 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, you can watch the games live, so a lot of times somebody shows up and they're like, hey, I watch your videos on YouTube, and then they have this shock moment where they're like, wait, you're like so far ahead of where the videos are, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, this is common. So yeah, if you are interested in watching live, that's going to happen soon. And I don't know. I don't have a script written down for this. I'm just kind of rambling because I wanted to get something out. I don't know. Maybe this video sucks. But yeah. What else was I wanting to mention? Another question I get a lot is, why are you playing through the Japanese releases? Like, they're all so bad, they're weird, we don't care about them. I think a lot of people do care about them, like I definitely do. But the truth is, I heavily underestimated how important it is to be able to read when you're playing a game. Like, I don't know, even if it's like a straightforward game, like a sports game or racing title, like just being able to read the menus, things like that is extremely nice, and I didn't realize how painful it would be, but yeah, I don't regret it at all. There's definitely been some very cool, interesting, obscure stuff, and in fact, my favorite N64 game used to be Paper Mario, and it no longer is. It's a Japanese game. That video, well, it's gonna be a minute before it comes out, but I did discover something new through that, and I think that's really cool. But anyway, I think it is a good idea to play Japanese games when the fan translation patches are made, because then even watching it, you can, like, I can understand easy, but you all watching can also understand, because it's nice to be able to read what's on the screen. And there's a very dedicated fan community to translating these games, and it's not just the text, like, it's inserting the text to the game. It can be really, really hard. Like, you can say, a lot of times you can say a lot more with Japanese characters than you can, Latin characters, I guess they're called. And so you may have to inject additional text boxes. You may have to redraw a text box to be bigger or smaller. So yeah, it's a lot of ROM hacking to do, and I'm extremely thankful for anybody who works on fan translations, because it just makes games more accessible, even if it's jank like shogi or something weird, mahjong. Somebody might want to play that, and it's just easier when it's in English. It's very good. Yeah, I don't regret it at all. I just thought it would be cool to include those, because there may be interesting stuff, and it turns out there was interesting stuff. Yeah, that's mostly what I wanted to mention. I think I really, really hope I can have this video next week, although I don't know, because I'm traveling for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna try to bring my laptop and get some work done on it. We'll see. But yeah, I do apologize there's no video. Because I know a lot of people look forward to them, and I really like seeing them, because when I'm writing the lines, I'm like, yeah, I read this, it's whatever. Then when I see the finished thing come together, I'm like, wow, this is really cool. I like this. Like, this looks a lot cooler than I imagined. Yeah, I want to do a good job. I want you people to feel that I'm taking it seriously, and I want to make a good video to show. And it started as just a fun little thing, and it's turned into, like, people say I'm like archiving the N64 and blah blah, and I never planned on doing that, but I guess it kind of is in a way. So yeah, hopefully the video next week, I really, really hope so. And if not, it'll definitely be after that. It's a lot of time. I am trying my best. I swear I'm not being a lazy piece of garbage. I am only so skilled and so good at writing. I don't know. yeah. But thank you all really much for watching these. If you're listening to this, then what the heck? I don't know. I don't even have anything written down for this. This was a last minute panic. Put something out. Like, I'm just talking. So, and if you're still here, you're awesome, or something like that. Yeah, there's no editing here. This is just raw recording. I did pause it a couple times because I got that weird alert on my phone, and also I lost my train of thought. But yeah, thanks for watching these. Really appreciate all of you, and I guess tune in for the next Beating Every N64 game vid, and I'm gonna kill Luigi. Goodbye.